Chris Dwyer, it's July 5th, and I just wanted to say thanks to my longtime friend Bruce Spratt for encouraging me. That's what great friends do, certainly when you're in recovery. I don't know if it was like late October, November, I think. And he had been reading my Instagram, and it was my Facebook posts. I unfortunately had to take down that were designed to help people. I ran across one of them last night talking about it's some of the best writing I've ever done in my life. Bruce Spratt was the CFO of either the CFO or the controller for Georgia State University. Controlled over $500 million budget, I believe. I don't know how many schools. And he said, clearly your mind is working. It was really encouraging, really nice. And I found one of my posts, some of the best writing I've ever done in my life, that I did. It was September. It was a couple weeks after I talked to my neurologist, and I was telling him about all these breakthroughs, and I was experiencing inner growth, and unfortunately I couldn't really work, continue. Every time I'd work really too hard, I would hurt myself, hurt my wrist, and from typing too much, and I just had to continually back off and retrain my body and my mind and neuroplasticity. But some of my best writings came through that. It was 2 or 3 weeks after I talked to my Piedmont neurologist, and he confirmed. He said, the evidence says that what you told me, and I was actually walking over on the same road as I am right now to the dollar store, and it was unbelievable. And I said, I told him about my calves and but I wanted to say thanks to Bruce Spratt. That's what great friends do. They help pull you through. They encourage you, and it's very important for PTSD and any kind of mental health recovery. And don't listen to other people. Cut the noise out when people are not supportive. And Bruce Spratt, we differ a little bit on our political views, and that's fine. He doesn't care. And but he's always been there for me. He tried to get me a job years and years and years ago at Georgia State University. He was really trying, and I love people like that that'll go. Again, he controlled like a $500 million budget, and again, we it's just a political viewpoint. But I was down beside the pool. It was early in the morning, and we got into a conversation. I can't remember what it was, and I used to wake up and watch the sunrise at like 6:15, 6:30, and I do my best writing typically when I'm able to get up then. I love getting up and I feel refreshed. Just sometimes I'm at like 80-85%, and I'll go through phases where but it's all about stretching and getting the trauma out of your right now it's getting them out of my hips, and something that I've neglected. Trauma gets into your psoas muscle, which is really it's the heart and soul muscle of the body, and it's responsible for sports performance. And but it was really I recounted it a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to write an article on Bruce Spratt. He's from North Carolina, and he's always been there. We've known each other for almost probably 15 years. And it's great to know somebody like that, and to give you some kind of encouragement. When he says, clearly your brain is working, and he knew what I was trying to do. He knew I was trying to help other people. And that post is going to go up. I'll probably attach that post. That's what I'll do. And I'll do it probably later today or earlier this week. And probably double check with Bruce to reference that. I don't think he cares. It's just a reference to him, but that was one of the nicest things that anybody has said to me, and it was clear. It was clear and obvious, and I knew all along. So don't self-doubt yourself. Just cut the noise out, and cut the noise out. And great people like that pull you through, just like Jay Nata and Isaac Nata, the guy that ran Jay is the father, and Isaac ran the he had the key block in the 2018 Rose Bowl against Oklahoma. He gave the compliment of my life, and saying that I could train NFL athletes right now, and it's just I got to get the rest of this trauma out through my hips and whatnot, and that's where AI was so helpful, is helping me understand the human body. And certainly everything, all the work that I've been doing, you got to do the work on your own. AI is a program. It pulls stuff and it puts it in a format. It does use cases. They're not called feeded information. The same information is given to doctors that they work off of scientifically, like John Hopkins, that does a tremendous amount of research for PTSD that I'm trying to get in touch with. And people are starting to follow me on LinkedIn. It's awesome. I got in touch with the Green Beret, who just put some of this instrumental stuff. I mean, just like monumental, positive stuff. Guy lost his I think his right leg, and he wrote something the other day. I just couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. And those are the people that are going to drive you in your life. Positive people that support you. And thank you, Bruce Spratt. You're right here, man. Really, seriously. Anything I can ever do in my life, time to help. I'm always there for you, and I really appreciate it. And the people that have been so supportive of me, because it does help. And certainly hearing stuff like that is reconfirmation. And certainly my therapist, Jessica and Randy, that I worked with, they confirmed everything that I was in fact, I was doing the right stuff. And it's all about working on yourself. And it's all about exercise and whatever. I've even been criticized for walking. I got criticized for walking the other day. It's unbelievable. Anyway, exercise is the best thing that you can do for your body. And, it's, and boundaries too. And you know what? My life is, trust is earned from here on out, and period in my life. And you don't get access to it. And certainly, if anyway, I don't even have to explain myself. Don't explain yourself. It's don't self-validate. It's bad for your nervous system. Just cut people off. And it's clear. One time it's a mistake. Twice it's a pattern. 3 times it's character. And yeah, that's all I got to say. Anyway, thank you, Bruce Spratt, and certainly again, Jay Nada and Isaac. I can't wait to meet one of my college football heroes here pretty soon, hopefully. Again, he played for the Green Bay Packers, and he played for the Detroit Lions, and he said I could train NFL athletes right now. After hearing my story the first day I met Jay, and he got me on the phone with his son, who works for Isaac works for Jersey Mike's. He's like a district trainer and manager and whatever. And he was a 5-star athlete coming out of he went to IMG. It was the number 7 player in the entire country, a true freshman, All-American. And after hearing, I was telling about sports psychology and how I employed that, and Isaac, told me, he came back and told me, he said, your scars are our greatest gifts in life, and we really align so much. They lived out of the dollar. He lived out of the dollar store too. Unfortunately, they're not as, they fell into huge financial times. And I read something that his mom was like, always trust God, and it's just been amazing. It happens, and I so look forward to. Isaac was like, dive deeper in the Bible, man. He said it's even more amazing. And it's just amazing. I have the things that a swan, the same swan, I'm sure it'd be the same swan. In 19 years, it never flew in front of me 4 times, twice the other day, within a period of a minute. Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. And the swan, the same swan, it graced me twice. About 2 weeks ago. Unbelievable. And it's just really special when you see stuff like that. It just points to the fact that, I've just been so many unbelievable things. I don't see how anybody could say, just here's $1 million, that's God. When you have stuff like that in your life that you see and it keeps you going and it uplifts you and just makes your hair on your back rise. That's God to me. Money comes later, especially when you influence people. And and Isaac said that I was telling him about Bruce Lee and talking about authenticity and Bruce Lee was a master of sports psychology. that I learned under, certainly I was listening to Bob Rotella this morning and Tom Brady, and talking about, Tom Brady references his sports psychology coach that he worked with at Michigan. I encourage anybody to do it. It's all about, it really ties into self-efficacy, taking on hard tasks, and that develops nodes in your brain, and creative problem solving, and you're gonna fail. That's how you respond, and you do it again. You're gonna break through, and but I truly believe you got to do the work on your skill level too. Certainly with stretching and stuff like that, that's gonna all push it, and that takes time. And trauma and PTSD, that stuff gets lodged in your body, in your tissue, in your fascia tissue. So you've got to stretch, and you've got to walk. And I've been, like I said, walking is my favorite thing to do. And my Piedmont neurologist that's about to retire, always told me, he said, he always said exercise is the best thing you can do for your body. And again, I was criticized for it lately. I was actually, a chunk. I was criticized for it. Unbelievable, and it's amazing. It's not alcohol. It's not alcohol. Alcohol's the worst thing you put in your body. But at any rate, thanks for listening.